This could be a game changer.
That was the idea behind the official All-Star Cafe. The sports-themed chain was an offshoot of Planet Hollywood and featured images and mementos from superstar athletes like Wayne Gretzky and Shaquille O'Neal. The cafe debuted in Times Square in the mid-90s before opening to other locations in Mexico and Las Vegas before interest began to wear off. Suffice it to say, it was only a matter of time before the official All-Star Cafe officially closed its doors after filing for bankruptcy in 1999.
Well, we tried.
VIPs.
Is this how you treat your VIPs, Ryan?
Nowadays, the fast casual dining experience is rather easy to come by. Franchises like Applebee's, Olive Garden, Denny's, and the like are just about everywhere. But back in the day, this kind of dining experience was limited to only a handful of franchises, such as VIPs.
VIP, learn your acronyms.
The chain stretched from the Pacific Northwest all the way to Northern California and even reached Nevada. The chain eventually branched off into several Mexican restaurants and continued to do well financially until Denny's purchased most of their stores in the early 80s.
Oh, it's not for sale.
Everything's for sale, buddy.
Yankee Doodle Dandy.
You are America. True patriots.
There's nothing like a bit of good old patriotism to rile up your appetite.
USA! USA!
This was the case for Yankee Doodle Dandies for more than 50 years. The burger chain, which started life as Yankee Doodle House, was famous for having a menu similar to that of Burger King and Burger Chef. Yankee Doodle Dandy had close to 30 locations at its peak in the late 70s, with many of them in Chicago. Unfortunately, Yankee Doodle Dandy went out of business in the 80s.
How sad is that?
Doggy Diner.
You came to Top Dog too.
If dogs are said to be man's best friend, then a fast food chain with a dog theme should have the customers flocking in. Doggy Diner was a San Francisco Bay Area chain that served up hot dogs and burgers. The chain was successful until it tried to compete with the mega burger chains, which sealed Doggy Diner's fate. And before long, the chain was out of business. However, hot dogs sporting the Doggy Diner name can still be purchased at Oracle Park. Go Giants!
What's up with all the ketchup?
Thank you for asking, Rosa. It's for
Watch
my
out,
hot dog.
I'm gonna kill you.
Winkies.
Should we get lunch?
I would love a cheesesteak.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
When you think of Pennsylvania and food, most will tend to picture the iconic cheesesteak.
Place has really good cheesesteaks.
But once upon a time, there was a chain serving burgers that was popular enough to rival the mighty cheesesteak. Well, maybe that's going too far. Winkies was a burger chain out of Pittsburgh known for its signature burgers, the Great One, the Ground Runner, and the Big Wink, as well as for its 15-cent hamburger. Along with its cheap and delicious burgers, the chain was also known for whimsical commercials. However, this didn't prevent the chain from filing for bankruptcy in the early 80s.
Look at this sorry, miserable squashed thing.
Mighty Casey's.
Mighty.
Mighty Casey's was a fast food theme restaurant centered around the chain's namesake, the literary character Casey Jones. The franchise's baseball-themed dishes and overall aesthetic were both fun and inviting. The Atlanta-based chain also managed to squeeze a few southern favorites onto the menu, such as Cajun wings and biscuits and gravy. Using premium ingredients and fantastic recipes gave Mighty Casey's a leg up and made the chain stand out among the other franchises. Unfortunately, Mighty Casey's struck out in 1994 after fast food chain Crystal bought them out.
Shut up and take my money.
First time here? Well, be like the cool kids and hit that subscribe button and never miss out. Thanks, you're the best.
The show goes on!
Oh,
Poppin' Taco.
We only really serve Mexican food.
One Mexican cheeseburger.
You can't go to Southern California and not see a ton of Mexican restaurants. But there isn't an overabundance of Mexican-inspired fast food chains in the region, except for the popular chains such as Taco Bell.
You want to go to Taco Bell?
However, once upon a time, there was a popular Mexican chain located in Pasadena called Poppin' Taco. Poppin' Taco served up not only tacos, but also other famous Mexican dishes and non-Mexican items like hot dogs, fries, and sandwiches. The chain expanded out of California and into New Mexico, eventually reaching over 100 locations in the early 80s. Sadly, a major buyout by Taco Bell meant the end of the famous franchise.
Is what it is.
Wetsons.
Hamburgers, the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast.
Nowadays, there aren't many burger chains that rival the big three. Fat Burger, In-N-Out, and Five Guys are carving a niche out for themselves, but back in the day, there was a lot more competition.
Like a
Places such as Wimpy's, Henry's, and Wetson's were all vying for top spot on the burger mantle.
where's the
Wetson's in
Mexico's?
particular stood out for its 10-cent fries, 15-cent burgers, and its signature burger, the Big W. And fortunately for the Long Island chain, all the 15-cent burgers in the world wouldn't save them from the bigger burger chain's massive expansion. And it wasn't long before Wetson's was no more.
Sliding down.
good enough.
Val's Steakhouse.
You know what they say about tenderloin? Always a risky option. It's got to be done just right.
There's nothing quite like a good steak. It's one of the most popular meats in this country for a reason. With that said, there is definitely no shortage of steakhouses across the country, and one of the oldest and most popular was Val's Steakhouse. First opening up its doors in the early 1930s, Val's operated primarily on the East Coast, stretching from Boston to Maine, and served up prime steaks as well as lobster and other fresh seafood.
Yes, I eat the fish.
The chain continued to thrive until the 70s when the franchise started to decline. Eventually, unflattering reviews and poorly thought out expansion into the South led to Val's closing its doors after 90 years in 2000.
I'll take that steak to go, please and thank you.
Dead body!
Roasters.
Check it out.
You found
Wow,
a dead
Kenny
body.
Rogers Roasters finally open.
Many celebrities feel the need to move away from their comfort zone and branch out into new ventures. Kenny Rogers seemingly couldn't resist the urge to enter the thriving world of chain restaurants and introduce the world at Kenny Rogers Roasters. Rogers' chain of chicken restaurants served up wood-fired rotisserie chickens along with other Southern-style sides such as cornbread and macaroni salad. The chain opened its doors for the first time back in 1991 and was well received, but due to heavy competition, Kenny Rogers Roasters failed to keep up. The chain closed its doors in the mid-90s, at least in the U.S. However, the chicken franchise caught on in some Asian countries where they continue to enjoy success.
Not bad. Not bad.
Chooks Fresh and Tasty.
Nothing better than when they're fresh.
Nothing better.
If you're not familiar with Chooks
I
Fresh and
have
Tasty, that's probably because you're not
1700
Australian.
beans.
Yes, this Aussie chain
8
served up
snack
both
points.
barbecue and fried chicken down under style for more than 30
Bye,
years.
bye.
Operating in the southwestern part of Australia, Chooks had 34 locations at its peak.